All right, what's up, guys? I hope you're doing good. I am back with another trade recap on ICBU. Today is March 18th. I'll just jump right into it. So, what you can see here, I got my entry, my exit with E-Trade. This was let me pull up my profit lead. This was a $13 gain, so I pretty much broke completely even with commissions. But my note on my buy was bought at 295, which is right here. Let me just section this up. Yeah. So I bought at 295, buying this high day breakout, supporting on VWAP plus volume coming in. It's got good news, strong stock, strong sector for the last couple days. So this had been a relatively recent runner in what was it? Yeah, so yesterday it had nothing crazy. I'm not saying it's crazy, but it had a good play here and then it ended strong. So I thought that there was a good chance of it playing today. On my watch list, I wrote down only up 50%, so could run if Bitcoin is good. And the reason that I connected it with Bitcoin is just because the news that came out, as you guys can see here, was about a cryptocurrency farming data center. Just to tap on that, how I feel fundamentals, I used to think that it was really, really key. So in every trade that I would go into, it'd be what are the fundamentals? I'd dig into them. And I think that is really important. And I think it can help you a lot. But I think specifically that will really help you out on listed stocks. So right now in my journey, I'm only playing OTCs, and I don't see that the fundamentals that come out that there's anything crazy associated to this or that. You'll see certain trends debt-free companies. When news comes out about debt-free companies, I've seen them go crazy. So obviously debt-free is just good news, but companies that come out with something about debt-free or getting close to that often run. So I'll find traits that seem to be across the board. I use stocks to trade breaking news, so I'll find a consistency between certain types of news that comes out or catalyst, and then that might make me feel more confident. But I really don't go crazy into the fundamentals as much as I might have thought I did. But I think that's just with OTC markets, you don't have to be as crazy. I might regret this saying that later on, but I'm just speaking where am I in my journey right now. That's kind of how I feel. So, but the news was good. It's got news. That's what's important. It had good news. That's kind of what I was trying to get around about, is that they have good news. That's good. It's not as important as what the news is, as long as it's good. So with the good news, ended really strong yesterday, and Bitcoin was up today. I think it actually, let me be really real, I think it actually hit, let's see here today. Yeah, it hit 60K today, and then it ended around 57, 58. So it did have a run in the morning. So a lot of cryptos were having good runs today. But back to this specifically, I was watching this overnight. I saw the dip down here, so I was looking at dip and rip. But what my strategy, I've got it up on my wall here, is what I'm looking at. But it's where you either get a dip and rip or you get a morning spike that kind of fails and comes down. And then you have this consolidation right here. This, a little bit of this. But the key is that it's above VWAP. So what I'm looking at is a key level that's above VWAP, but I can get high day break on it. And then you just wait for volume to come in, and then you're pretty much golden. You just buy at the breakout. So this was a quick moving candle, but I would say I got a pretty good entry. So the technical, the actual breakout was 291, and I got in at 295. So I'm more than happy with that entry. It was moving pretty fast. So I got in. When I got in, instantly I was risking the top of the previous high day, kind of this barrier here. Let me also pull up. I don't know where the toggle was. Oh, well, I guess it's gone into that. But yeah, so anyway, I was risking this right here, the top of this high day. That was my risk. And then as it climbed up, I'll higher my risk. But for now, that's what I was risking. I think it's also only a couple percentages down if it goes to, it's 5%. So yeah, I like to risk 2 to 3%. So I was happy with the possibility of that. And I thought that was key. So I'm risking that. Entered here. Volume confirmed my thesis. The tape confirmed it. Of course, you can't see that now, but tape confirmed it. Volume confirmed it. And so I was very happy with this buy. Now, here's where I would say I faltered in this trade. Is I was writing it up here. Once it came up here and tested these levels, I readjusted my risk level to 3, pretty much like 3 exactly. Is that, what did I do? Yeah. No. What was it? Okay, sorry guys. I'm being real with you, like I said. Once it came up into here, I readjusted my risk level to that. So it was 39. Yeah, 309. That's where I readjusted my risk level to. Sorry, I had to remind myself. But so when it came up into this, I was like cruising. I was like, if it breaks that, but I was still holding this as my previous risk level. Here's was my mistake, is when this red candle happened, I got shaken out because I wanted to lock in a trade so bad. If you guys have seen my previous videos, you know that like my last 2 videos were missed opportunity videos. And I've had such a problem with getting into trades. It's been a problem for me. I was just scared. And so this was such a key moment for me when I got into this trade, where I felt like I had this breakthrough of like I finally got in, and it was an achievement for me. So my thought process on this was, I just want to freaking lock in gains. I just want to do the trade, lock in the trade, etc., etc. And so when I saw this red candle, I got spooked. But in reality, I should have held my risk level, and it didn't. The wick came down on that, but it did hold my risk level here exactly. So in the future, lesson learned on this is stick to your risk level, because you have that there for a reason. If you're, find out for yourself. But I am good at creating risk levels, and I back that off by data that it usually holds some key risk levels unless the market goes down. So I need to, in the future, stick with my risk level, not get shaken out just because I have a quick moving candle that the wick goes past it. Maybe let the candle finish before I get spooked out by it, but I guess you can judge that off by level 2, judge it off by tape. It's not an exact science. So, and then as you can see, it ran up another, I think it was like 5%. So I sold, sadly, I sold at the bottom of this wick, which sucks. But like I said, I was spooked, so I was just meeting the buyers. But from here, it went up another 4%, 5% potentially. So I left 4 or 5% on the table, but I covered commissions. And the thing, again, this was so important for me, is that I broke through my fear of getting into a trade, and that's what I needed to do. I'm going to say this for looking back on it in the future, and for any of you guys who are watching this from future me when I'm successful with it, and yes, I speak the truth, but I know what it feels like as a newbie to be afraid to enter trades. I got that when I got a big loss. It was only like $300, but it was big for me at the time, and I was so afraid to enter trades that I would see, the perfect plays, I would see the perfect setup, and I would freeze. I would literally freeze. I'd get like chills on my body, and I wouldn't, press the buy button. And so if any of you have that similar problem or similar thing, I would encourage you to check your strategy, make sure you have a good strategy, and if you do, just click the button. When the strategies present themselves, click the button. What I had to do is I had to print out my perfect strategy on the wall so that when I saw it building, I knew this is my strategy. I printed it out and I have to play it. If you guys are watching this, you have that same problem, feel free to reach out to me and I can go into more detail. In the future, I'll have better, what to say on it. But if you're having that problem, you're not alone. A lot of noobs have it, including myself, and you'll get past it. Just trust your strategy, trust the process. Losses are a part of the game. You're not going to get through without taking losses. You have to take losses. That's guaranteed with trading. And you can't skip that step. You can shorten it, you can speed it up, so you don't have to take as many losses, but you're going to take losses. That's part of the game. So anyway, my victory into this was that I took a trade. I was getting past that fear, and I broke even. And so I'm happy with that. But in the future, hold your risk levels. Don't chicken out just because you want to lock in. I would have made an extra 5%. I was a little, some might say early. I want to say early because it's still a good trade. But the real move was later in the day right here. I mean, I don't even know what to say about this. It was beyond insane. I considered buying the high a day break, at like this level right here. I really did. But the reason that I hesitated is because I don't have the data to track afternoon breakouts, but I have seen that oftentimes they fail. And so I wasn't very confident in buying an afternoon breakout because I didn't know how well it could go. And also the market was really shady, really iffy today. It was kind of on and off. A lot of things were popping, a lot of things were failing. So I didn't feel comfortable getting into a trade for a breakout. But obviously it was the strongest stock in the market. It was a high run, and really could have been a really good play. But don't focus on what you miss. Learn from it, but don't get FOMO. Don't chase, and don't consider yourself a failure if you miss the big play. Underestimate a play is much better than holding when it's going against you, thinking it's going to go up more, or anything like that. So stick to your plan, stick to your strategy, and if you miss a lot of the move, that's okay. Learn from it. See if there's something else better to do. Like what I did, I learned from this was stick to your risk level. Don't get shaken out until your risk level is hit and broken. So learn from it, but don't get FOMO. Again, just for you guys, make sure to remember volume has been so key on these breakouts. You need this volume breakout from what I have seen to confirm the move. And then also it can be a little bit shady to buy beforehand. I had a friend of mine, Xander, who took another trade today, IPNFF, and he bought in anticipation for the breakout and then it failed. So it depends on the market conditions. It depends on the sector. But wait for confirmation of your trade. Don't just get in without confirmation. So for me, that was the tape, that was volume, and then the breakout that was successful. So yeah, my lesson on this was just hold risk levels, don't get shaken out, don't get scared. But for me, this was a big victory. I cracked my fear of getting into trades today. So if you guys have any questions on it, feel free to reach out to me with anything specific. I'll continue making these recaps, and I'll do my best to give advice for my future self. I've rewatched some of my recaps and everything. So if there's anything specific that you guys want to ask or want me to look at, just let me know. Let me know in the comments if you relate to any of this, and I will continue to keep you guys up to date with any missed opportunities, with future trades, or anything I learned. So we will keep in touch, and thanks for watching, guys.